Hello everyone, this is Kenneth Wong, a Burmese American writer and Burmese language instructor. Glad to have you with us for another beginning Burmese lesson. Quite often people ask me, how do you say please? I can, of course, tell them the closest Burmese equivalent, that is, Jesu Piu Pi, Jesu Piu Yue, or Jesu Piu Ba, all variations of the same thing. In fact, if you look up the word please in an English to Burmese dictionary, you'll find some variations of this phrase. And that phrase does literally mean by way of doing me a favor as a favor to me or do me a favor. So if you're an English speaker and you want a taxi driver to take you to the airport, for example, you might be tempted to say something like this. Jesu piu bi, le boba. Jesu piu bi, le boba. Technically, that does translate to as a favor to me or as doing me a favor, take me to the airport. Except that is not how Burmese speakers usually make a polite request. In fact, they rarely use the phrase Jesu piu pi because it sounds really stiff, formal, and a bit too humble for everyday requests. Instead of that, they'll more likely use the auxiliary verb pay, and that is today's lesson. How to use the auxiliary verb pay to make polite requests. The pronunciation is kind of important, by the way. It's not the P sound from Peter, Pennsylvania, or pen. It is the P from spoon or spam. So when you pronounce this verb, make sure you pronounce it as pay, not as pay as in pay the bill. The verb pay, when used as the main verb, means to give something to somebody. For example, le paye beba means give me tea. The beba means give me mango. But when used as an auxiliary verb, it becomes something else. It means to do that action as a favor for someone or for the benefit of somebody else. Let's go back to the example about asking somebody, perhaps a taxi driver, to take you to the airport. Well, let's see. What you have so far is lezing, that is the word for airport, noun. Po is the verb to send something or somebody. Ba at the end of the sentence makes it a request or a command. If you say le boba, exactly as it is written here, in tone so far what you have right now is pretty much a straightforward order. Take me to the airport or send me to the airport. But how would you make it a polite request? You do that by adding the auxiliary verb be behind the main verb po to send. Make it po be. So instead of saying le boba, you say le po beba. Le po beba. That is roughly the equivalent of please take me to the airport or send me to the airport as a favor to me. This is more in line with how the native speakers will make the same request. Let's try something else. Let's say you want to eat mohinga, but you don't quite know how to make it, so you want to ask your Burmese friend to make it for you as a favor to you. Mohinga is, well, that's mohinga. That's a rice noodle that comes with chunky catfish chowder. Really delicious. If you have never tried it, I recommend it. To cook is che. Ba is the command particle. The request particle is a variation of the word ba that you have heard earlier. Right now, what you have is a command. Mohinga chep ba is kind of like saying make mohinga, cook mohinga. But if you want to soften it, turn it into a plea or a polite request, you do that by adding the auxiliary verb be behind the main verb cook, che. So instead of che, you say chep be. So instead of saying mohinga chep ba, say mohinga chep beba. Mohinga chep beba. That is more like saying, please make mohinga for me. Please cook mohinga as a favor to me. Let's say you want to ask a Burmese friend to teach you Burmese. Here are all the words that you need. Burmese language is pamazaga. The verb to teach is the. Again, ba is the command particle that ends the sentence. The key to making this a polite request is adding the auxiliary verb be. So instead of saying thin, say tempe. So put it all together. You have pamazaga tempeba. Pamazaga tempeba. Now that sounds more like please teach me Burmese or do me a favor and teach me Burmese. By the way, if you look up the word Burmese language in a dictionary, you'll probably find Bamaza and Bamazaga. There is a difference between the two that you should know. Bamaza is generally the Burmese language, which includes writing, but Bamazaga is specifically the spoken words. This has to do with the fact that the suffix sa, sometimes also pronounced za, means language, literature, or letter, and the suffix zaga means spoken words. Depending on what you want to learn, you may say Bamazaga Tempeba, please teach me how to speak Burmese, or Bamaza Tempeba, please teach me the Burmese language. The auxiliary verb pay doesn't always mean that you want a favor coming your way. It could also mean doing a favor for somebody else. For example, say you have a friend named Samantha who wants to learn Burmese. So if you want to ask your Burmese tutor to also teach Samantha Burmese, you can say Samantha go Bamazaga Thimbeba. Samantha go Bamazaga Thimbeba. The particle go behind Samantha's name is the object marker. That makes it clear Samantha is receiving the action, not the one doing the action. In other words, Samantha is the one to be taught, not the one who will be doing the teaching. The rest is the same, so that means please teach Samantha Burmese as a favor. Let's flip things around. Say that you have a Burmese friend named Momo and you'd like to offer to teach her English. This is a situation where you can use the auxiliary verb pay to make it clear you'd like to do this as a favor to her. In this case, you say Momo go English zaga tempe me. Momo go English zaga tempe me. Momo go is Momo as the object marker. Momo is the one receiving the action. Te is to teach. Once again, pay in this case is the auxiliary verb that means you will be doing this as a favor to somebody for somebody's benefit. In this case, Momo's benefit. Me, the last word. Well, this is different, isn't it? This is actually a future action marker. The word that marks the action as something that hasn't happened yet, but will happen. Altogether now you have Momogo, English ga tempeme, means I'll teach you Momo English. Without the auxiliary verb pe though, if you just say Momogo, English ga teme, it's a factual statement. So it sounds like you're saying, I'll teach you English. That's my decision, and you're going to learn it whether you like it or not. But with the auxiliary verb pay, it suggests you'd like to do this as a gesture of goodwill. This is you offering to do Momo a favor. Alright, here's one more example to try. Let's say you are at a pagoda and you want a stranger to take a photo for you. How would you ask this nice young lady or young man passing by to do you that favor? Let's look at the words that you need. Photo is dapong in Burmese. Dapong. To take a photo is yai. Yai. So how would you say, please take a photo for me? You would say, dapong yai beba. Dapong yai beba. For added politeness, you can also add kanya if you're a man or shin if you're a woman at the end of your sentence. That is the polite sentence end particles for men and women, respectively. So, dabong yai beba kanya if you're a man, dabong yai beba shin if you're a woman. One more time. Dabong yai beba kanya if you're a man, and dabong yai beba shin if you're a woman. The auxiliary verb pay is very different from the English please, which you can stick at the front or the back of the sentence, so it's a lot easier than this. But pay has to be integrated into your sentences as part of your structure. But I'd say it's worth learning it because that is exactly how Burmese usually make polite requests or offer to do somebody a favor. Now that you know about the auxiliary verb pay, when you eavesdrop on Burmese conversation or when you happen to hear somebody saying something, pay attention to how native speakers use it to make a request or ask for a favor. Then, to the best you can, try to imitate them. That's the best way to learn. That's all for this lesson. See you later. Nama Duime. I'm Kenneth Wong. Thank you for watching.